Have you ever been absolutely sure about something and then discovered you were completely wrong? I'm not talking about guessing or being unsure. I mean that deep down, gut level feeling of certainty. You just know it, so why does this happen? We all trust our perception. If something feels obvious, we just assume it must be true. It's a fundamental part of how we navigate the world. But here's the twist: that feeling of confidence doesn't actually come from how accurate your perception is. It comes from how convincing the story is that your brain tells you. The psychology of being wrong is fascinating because it's not about being unintelligent. It's about how the human brain is wired. Let's dive into how belief is formed. You might think confidence and perception happen at the same time, but they don't. Confidence is actually created after the fact. Your brain processes a ton of information from your senses, sights, sounds, and feelings. It pieces everything together into a coherent story, like a director editing a movie. Only after this story is assembled does your brain decide how confident you should feel about it. This is what we call cognitive confidence. The more smoothly and quickly your brain creates this narrative, the more certain you feel. It's not a measure of truth, it's a measure of processing fluency. So when a story feels right, your brain rewards you with a hit of confidence, making the perception versus reality distinction almost impossible to see. This brain certainty illusion is powerful, and it explains why we trust our perception so implicitly. So if our brains can get it wrong, why do these errors feel so invisible to us? The answer lies in the very process of belief formation. Once your brain has settled on a story and tagged it with a high degree of confidence, it stops looking for alternatives. It's like a judge banging the gavel and declaring the case closed. The brain is efficient. It doesn't want to waste energy second-guessing every single perception. This is why certainty feels real. Your mind actively filters out information that contradicts its chosen narrative. You're not consciously ignoring evidence. Your brain is doing it automatically to maintain a stable and consistent view of the world. This is the core of false confidence psychology. The system is designed for speed and coherence, not necessarily for perfect accuracy. We're essentially living in a reality constructed by our minds, and once the walls are built, we rarely check to see if they're in the right place. This brings us to a familiar and often uncomfortable experience: why disagreement feels so personal. When someone challenges something you are absolutely certain about, it doesn't feel like a simple difference of opinion. It feels like a personal attack. Why? Because from your perspective, they are denying an obvious reality. Remember, your brain has already done the work. It constructed the story, labeled it as true, and gave you that satisfying feeling of certainty. When someone disagrees, they are essentially telling you that your perception of reality is broken. This challenges your cognitive confidence and can feel like an assault on your judgment and even your identity. It's not just about the topic at hand, it's about the very mechanism we use to understand the world. This is a crucial aspect of human belief systems. We are wired to defend our perceived reality, which is why arguments over obvious facts can become so heated and emotional. Let's look at a real-world example that perfectly illustrates this. Think about eyewitness testimony in court cases. For decades, the justice system placed immense faith in witnesses who claimed to be 100% certain about what they saw. A witness might say, "I'm absolutely positive that was the person I saw," and everyone, including the jury, would believe them. Why? Because that confidence is incredibly persuasive. However, DNA evidence has since exonerated hundreds of people who were convicted based on this kind of certain testimony. The witnesses weren't lying, they genuinely believed what they were saying. Their brains had constructed a clear, coherent story of the event, and that story felt completely real. This is a powerful demonstration of the perception versus reality gap. Their confidence came from the fluency of their mental story, not from the accuracy of their memory. It shows that even in life or death situations, the brain certainty illusion can lead to devastating mistakes. So, where does this leave us? The problem isn't that we're wrong sometimes. Being wrong is a natural part of being human. We all make mistakes. The real danger is our uncheckable conviction that we are right, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. The psychology of being wrong is tangled up with the feeling of being right. Once that powerful feeling of confidence kicks in, our brain stops questioning the perception it has created. We stop being curious and start being defensive. So, what can we do? We can start by acknowledging that certainty is a feeling, not a fact. It's a signal from our brain, but it's not infallible. By understanding how belief is formed, we can introduce a little humility into our convictions. We can learn to ask, what if my perception is wrong? This doesn't mean doubting everything, but it does mean staying open to the possibility that our perfectly clear picture of reality might just be an illusion. It's about being a little less certain and a lot more curious. Thanks for watching, and if this made you think, be sure to like and subscribe for more.